winning. The question is if they're a ceiling. And one of the things that I think LeBron learned in Miami was how to play off the ball and allow other guys to eat while he wasn't directly involved in the play. And that's sort of the evolution for Luka. And of course, some of it, when you're that talented and you can control every offensive possession, right, I get why he tries to.
Right. Yeah. If you got it popping like that, yes. First ball looking inside for Craig. Here's Ayton. Free throw line jumper a little strong. Doncic with the board. He's got 11 rebounds and 11 rebounds, 2 assists short of a triple-double. Book pounding it. One more to Chris Paul. Got it. The lead 16.
Hopefully this little stretch, I know as when I was a player, when you're struggling a little bit, even in a potential loss here for the Suns, just seeing the ball go through the hoop a couple times in a row could be super helpful. Yeah, it's not a confidence thing, by the way.
Okay.
It's a
Chris Paul. But how much carryover is there from game to game? Because each of these 6 games almost so far complete has had its own unique identity.
Well, I think that's different for every player. And for someone who knows Chris and people across the league, fans who know what type of player Chris is, he's going to be sitting on this and fuming on this for the next 2 days.
Well, this is going to set up a real interesting Game 7. Back in the desert. And you can never trust, even having home court, although the percentages are very favorable in Game 7s for the home team. Doncic, deep in his bag like the fries are at the bottom.
Again, just using his size and strength.
And that's an offensive foul on Booker. It's falling apart. It's clearly an offensive foul.
It's an offensive foul.
Luka sold it a little bit, but yes.
Well, I think some of that too.
And we got bodies falling everywhere, strewn across the court.
Some of that too is pettiness, if you will, Mark. I mean, there is definitely something going on in this series between the teams, and something going on in the series between Luke and Devin Booker.
Chris Paul holding that right hand of his. Boy, that looked like a WWE move where one guy propels another wrestler into the bad guy.
and on top of that, some WWE style acting. You do worry about Chris's hand there, though.
Yeah.
He's had a number of hand-related injury, wrist, thumb, over the years.
Yeah, this might be the time that Monty Williams just calls it a night. Yeah, type of nights that, as a head coach, got you smoking out the window and walking floors and that kind of thing.
You had nights like that?
I don't smoke, but walking floors, yeah. Had some rough shows through the years.
Oh, man.
Chris Paul just 4 of 7. 5 turnovers. It's going to come down to Game 7. Time to be determined on Game 7. I know you and I will be watching it, JJ. Cameron Payne in the ball game. Lost his rotation minutes to Landry Shamet. Right had it blocked.
Give the Mavs, by the way, give the Mavs a ton of credit. When you think about this series, they go down 2-0. Game 3, must win.
Yeah.
Game 4, essentially a must win. And tonight, obviously, an elimination game. a must-win as Luka Doncic will get a nice ovation here from the Dallas Mavericks home crowd. But to win
This team, he has especially alchemized a mediocre defensive team into a top 10 defensive team this year with basically the same personnel. Greg with a layup at the other end.
We talked earlier in the game about them targeting Luka and using his man as a screener, and a number of teams have done that. And I think his buy-in on that end of the floor this season was much different. And
You see the difference?
Well, no, I attribute that to Jason Kidd getting him to buy in, and of course Luka gets some credit as well to that. But I do see a difference. I do see a difference. And I thought even tonight, when they started going to that pick and roll with his man, and they would make the pocket pass and get that 4-on-3 downhill. Mikal Bridges, of course, got to the rim a couple times. I thought he made an adjustment there, got more aggressive at it, got some deflections, even got a steal.
Well, tomorrow night on ESPN, the conference semifinals continue with a pair of Game 6s, Celtics-Bucks at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time from Fiserv Forum in Milwaukee. And then the nightcap, Grizzlies and Warriors. Golden State leading 3-2 in that series as well. Coverage begins at 7 o'clock Eastern Time with NBA Countdown. The game also available on the ESPN app. And getting back to the great adjustments defensively that Jason Kidd has made, I mean, Chris Paul get to the elbow and knock down those jumpers that he routinely does through the course of the regular season and even the playoffs. Greg inside, Biyombo with the rebound. Wainwright.
Well, that's playing drop coverage like the Pelicans did with Valanciunas in the first round is a death sentence.
Right.
He's just too good against that coverage. And Jason Kidd and the Mavericks have done a nice job as Dwight Powell gets a layup from Spencer Dinwiddie. They've done a nice job of being up, late switching, sometimes just straight switching, but being able to go small and having Cleaver as the five-man who can switch multiple positions and guard is just such a luxury for a team to have.
Well, Dallas into the second round for the first time since their championship year in 2011. Dinwiddie launching from three. A little bit of icing, some sugar on that. Under 2 minutes to play. Timeout on the floor. It's all over, but the post-game dap at this point.
NBA Conference Semifinals on ESPN is
Boban Marjanovic. And he's fouled on the attempt, and he'll go to the free throw line. Hand it off to Mark from deep. Marjanovic with the rebound. You know, you've seen those State Farm commercials, so I go up to Boban before the game last week here in Dallas, and I said, Boban, I'm one of those guys that uses coasters because he's mad in the commercial.
Yes.
That people don't use coasters for drinks. I said, I use coasters. I don't leave marks on people's tables with my drinks. He was happy to know that, and he gave me 48 hugs after that.
Never been a coaster guy, but I will tell you, Boban, I was his teammate twice. Once in Philadelphia and then once here last year for a couple months at the end of the season. And he really is just one of the kindest, gentlest, nicest human beings that I've ever been around. And on top of that, an outstanding teammate. He's a guy you just want in your locker room.
Hey, don't sleep on his skill either.
No.
We have to assume that. Yeah,
he's a very good basketball player as well. There's a reason he's in the NBA.
Yep. Cameron Payne missing, Biyombo missing. Sterling Brown into the front court for Dallas. Ready to put a lid on this 113-86 lead and send this to a Game 7 on Sunday. The time to be determined. Marjanovic left it short. Suggs can just dribble it out. Wainwright missing a shot.